This is a review of set 40806, the Gingerbread AT-AT, with 697 pieces, a retail price of $60, and a LEGO store exclusive, and retires on January 1st of 2026. There is only one minifigure in this set, being Gingerbread Darth Vader, and of course I'll start with him. Here's a quick comparison to all the updated versions of Darth Vader we've been getting. Of course, the normal one with arm printing and has a little bit of a different texture than the newer one, which is sort of a cloth cape, but does have a little bit of printing on it, which I'll talk about later. And there's Jedi Vader that came in the 2024 Dark Falcon, which features arm printing, unlike the Gingerbread Vader, which I feel like is kind of weird. It would have perfectly completed the trilogy of the Vaders. But this one does get a normal red lightsaber as well as a little sugar cookie. And the back favors a cloth cape rather than the harder material that we see in both of the other Vaders, being the normal one and the Jedi Vader one. But that's likely because of the printing to make it seem more like a gingerbread, which I really like and is actually pretty cool for a $70 set. Here is a closer look at all of the printing. I think it definitely deserved arm printing. It's just another way that LEGO cuts corners, but it might be one of the only flaws with the set, depending on how you look at it. Of course, it comes with two different pieces for the helmet, which are printed in a different color, and the face is just the regular nougat that we see for the rest of the figure, so I'm glad they didn't spend more money on stuff that isn't really useful. But I do again wish arm printing was used. I mean, I'm probably going to mention that a lot of times in this review, but still I feel like it would have just perfectly completed the trilogy of Vaders, looking practically the exact same, except for, of course, the coloration differences. Here's a closer look compared to the regular one. Of course, this one has the iconic Anakin or burnt Anakin like face from Return of the Jedi, and I don't know if you can really tell, but there is definitely a difference with the cape. This one is a little bit like harder and you can't really pose it as much, but usually the Jedi have this more cloth feel to the cape, which I'm assuming is why they printed it on this, seeing all the frosting and like the crumbs and everything. I'm assuming that's why. It would have been cooler to have like a actual like cape that reminds you of Darth Vader, which is this one included in all the other versions, but still really cool figure and really cool inclusion. Probably wish they would have included something like a gingerbread like stormtrooper or gingerbread snowtrooper, like just to go along with it and have someone like actually pilot the AT-AT at least accurately, even though it is sort of like his own creation, so there isn't really any accuracy to keep up with. I feel like it would have been nice to get like something like that, just extra rather than just one minifig. But now on to the build with 697 pieces, I believe 6 bags. This is actually a really cool build because it's sort of in between minifig scale, not really like minifig scale, but I guess play scale and like mid scale. It's getting a little smaller here. We do have a rumor for like a mid scale AT-AT before, but I feel like this would have been perfect to have like with the UCS AT-AT, Gingerbread AT-AT, and then like the AT-AT pilot driver helmet, which I will talk about a little bit later. I'll start with the cockpit here, which you can lift up and you have perfect space to fit Darth Vader, but technically not really. You kind of have to remove the cape here. If you remove the lightsaber and then his like little cookie accessory that he gets, he does get another one inside of the AT-AT, which I'll talk about once I get to that interior. If you like fold his legs in there, it doesn't quite fit like with the cockpit closing. Sort of reminds me of the MTT pilot space. So if you can fit him in there without his legs like cracking, it uses the nice piece there, which prevents it from cracking. It's a smooth piece, so it's no actual like stud connection, which is kind of good because it's a pretty expensive figure, and it'll get a lot more expensive as it retires. But as you can see here, there's not really a way to close the cockpit. Personally, I'm not displaying it open like this. I don't think it looks good like that, but I mean, you could fit, I guess, like a stormtrooper, not really, but there's no one you could really like fit in here. I think they don't include a control panel. It's just pretty simple interior there. And we also do get 2 candy cane blasters here from the front, which I actually really like, and I think it's a cool design for the Gingerbread AT-AT and fits the design obviously, and I actually really like this like head-on design. It looks pretty accurate to what we see in, at least for like an AT-AT, besides the gingerbread look, of course. For the interior, we do get these stringed up lights, which I believe was, this piece was like Spider-Man's web that was maybe introduced in 2025, like January 1st, but you can lift up on both sides. You can see the wreath there. If you flip it around, you can see another wreath on the side. So same wreath on both sides. If you lift both of them up, it should be easier to look inside. We do have a really cool miniature UCS Death Star. I guess not really, because it's sort of full sphere instead of a slice. But that is actually a really, really cool detail that a lot of fans hopefully will notice. I'm not sure if they actually showcase it in the images or you have to actually build it to see it. I believe they do show it in a couple like images on the back, but not like directly. And I think it's also cool to have that there while the UCS Death Star is currently being released the same month as October 1st of 2025. So was the Death Star. We do get a little cozy like nook in there with a fireplace, 2 stockings, a cup of, I'm assuming, like hot chocolate, as well as a little coaster for it, and then a table, a carpet, as well as a chair. You can sit Vader down in the chair pretty normally in there. He fits pretty nice. I wouldn't recommend doing it because it's kind of hard to cramp him in there, and this cape might get a little bit bent. It's a pretty expensive figure, and will be continuing because it is retiring sort of like January 1st, I guess, because it's a seasonal set. Lego does seasonal sets for other themes. I think they've had ones all the way back from like 2018, like some random like 3-in-1 Christmas tree, for example. They'll have released on the 1st and then be available for December. Then you won't be able to get it in months like June, but it will get reintroduced, so you're able to get it again on October 1st. So basically a re-release, then stops, and then re-release during the holiday season, but they haven't done it for any of these holiday Christmas Star Wars sets. But you can see them there, can fit pretty well, and also has 2 accessories into the back, being the 2 clips, I guess. One of them is an extra candy cane, which you can remove, and then you can hold pretty nicely, which is the 3rd accessory I was talking about. I think it looks pretty nice. I wish they would have done something else with his lightsaber is the main thing. Like it would have been like a candy cane lightsaber, like it would have had hilt or something like that. But still, it's nice to just have an extra candy cane piece for Vader, and you have 2 different options, I guess, of clips you want to attach it to. If you have him sitting down there, you could also attach his lightsaber there. And you can see 2 presents in the back here. One has this nice red yellow look, which you can't really remove. Flip it around, you have this one which is green and white, which is pretty hard to remove some of these, but still there for a nice little touch in the background. That's basically it for the interior. If you look down at the feet, I really wish these were adjustable. Sadly, it's only like the feet themselves rather than the full legs of the AT-AT, so that kind of sucks. But I mean, I would probably display like this, or like I would have it in the mid walking pose. Technically, if you remove a couple Technic pins and a couple like gingerbread coating things here, you could actually make it angled a little bit, but that takes like a lot of work, and I feel like this should just be a feature where you already like are able to just click it up, and then you can actually move it in whatever direction. Of course, I'm not a Lego designer, but if we look a little bit down like on the feet here, you can see they use this like sort of looks like a cupcake or like some type of cake. Has this frosting here, as well as a couple bows, a pink one and a red one, 2 on each side, which look very nice. And of course, there's so many sprinkles alongside the actual base of the gingerbread, like the dark new year Geonosis color. And of course, you get the barrier of frosting. And I also like how Gingerbread Vader sort of matches, of course, the gingerbread vibe, but he also stands out. It's not the exact same. This is like light nougat. This is like the Geonosis, like burnt orange. They also do have some touches of like brown here, which I guess still matches the gingerbread vibe here, to I guess switch it up a little bit. And overall, really, really nice build. It's definitely an enjoyable building experience overall, and I love how they include a little interior, but I feel like it's mainly for display, but still looks really nice. And I haven't gotten an AT-AT in this scale for a while, and I think it actually looks pretty nice for what it is. I mean, it is a pretty good, at least price per piece wise, 697 pieces for $70 or $60, which is, again, price per piece, over price per piece, 97 exactly. I believe 97 pieces over price per piece, which is kind of crazy. And for once, Lego isn't like tracking. I feel like they always do that with their sets, or tracking the price per piece to make sure they don't go like over it. For this one, I'm happy they didn't. And Love the Gingerbread Vader. Looks really nice. Another touch. Probably would have liked to include another figure, but I mean, it is a lot overpriced per piece. I guess as far as like looks wise, I feel like this set and Gingerbread Vader alongside it does feel like a $60 set overall. I think definitely reminds you of Christmas. Also, it's only available for a short time of the year, so also influences a lot of people to buy it. I feel like it looks very nice and a great set to build over the holidays, and also a great set to display with some of your other Christmas figures, like my Christmas Palpatine from the 2023 Advent Calendar, as well as a Christmas Ewok, which if you get a couple of these, you can actually recreate like an Endor scene, but in Christmas, like how the AT-ATs were on Endor. It might have just been AT-STs, but I think there was a couple AT-ATs. It would have been cool to see some of the Ewoks like attacking it, which I might actually have on display, and also have Santa Maul, which wouldn't really fit with the vibe of the AT-AT, but technically around the same time in the LEGO store, you can also pick up the AT-AT driver helmet, which doesn't technically fit the Christmas vibe, but I still think it looks really nice to any AT-AT, and of course you can have it perfectly on display. This one is brand new sealed. I got for the Black Friday deals. I think it looks very nice. Hopefully it will be displayed next to my AT-AT over the holiday season. The set is also only included in the newer holiday magazine. The older one doesn't have it, from the same year, by the way. This one features the Oriental like express train on the front. This one does not have it. I believe this is the older one, and this is the actual holiday Christmas one. That one includes it in the magazine with the giant Christmas tree from this year in it. Overall, this is 100% worth the $60 price tag. If you see this at any point at the LEGO store and have enough money, I would 100% recommend purchasing this. This is also definitely a good investment, because I guess starting from last year, LEGO is starting to do a seasonal set for 1 year, I guess 2 months or 3 months for Star Wars, and so this won't be available for a very long time. I guess it's only available for a very short period. The Gingerbread Vader is already going for a lot of money, so you're definitely going to be making your money back. It is also a really good set, definitely better than last year's. Very happy with this. Hope you guys enjoyed. Have an amazing rest of your day, and see you on the next one.